Welcome, welcome. We are live. We are live, and I'm super excited to have you here. This is episode 8 on Claiming My Abundance podcast. And for you, Sonia, I just knew the title would fit well, which is Your Healing Brings Impact, because over the years of just seeing you having a huge impact, talking about student loan debt, it really was impressive, right? It really was impressive to just see that you care about people that go to school, people that have debt and want to really change their life and understand that there is freedom out and relief outside of that student loan debt. So I welcome you to Claiming My Abundance podcast. When I seen you at what was it, the conference about podcasts, I'm like,
Yes.
I gotta have her on here. I gotta have her on here because I know, for one, you have an amazing story that a lot of people would love to hear, and for two, you have a huge, impact. And it's like, how did you come to that point of gaining that confidence and gaining that authority, to have that impact? So for those who are listening, we have Sonia Lewis, owner and CEO and founder of the global #1 student loan doctor company. You're not gonna find nobody like her out here. You're not gonna find nobody talking about owning student loans. Okay. So we have her here. So appreciative to share this space with her. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, how she got into this arena, and just letting us know who she are. So Sonia, thank you so much, and you have the floor.
Thank you so much for having me as a guest on your podcast. It was really nice to meet you, connect with you at our event. I didn't expect to really, it's so funny. I didn't even expect to connect with such amazing people as yourself. But when I was in the room, I was like, oh, wait, this is a room full of podcasters. That would make more sense. So, because I'm so hyper focused on what I'm building out, which is a new podcast, I was just like laser focused. So I'm glad I looked up. So yes, I'm excited about today's conversation. So my name is Sonia. I'm out of Philadelphia. I started the student loan doctor business about, let's say, what year is this? 7 years ago.
Wow.
And it's been good. Yeah, most people don't make it to 7 years entrepreneurship. I don't know how
Amazing.
they're doing it. And God gave me the burden of student loan debt. I'm going to say it. So of any business or any idea that one could birth, I would choose. I feel like one of the most hardest topics that plague the American people, when we get granular, plagues African American women the most. And so I am excited to be a champion of the topic because we are just doing so much amazing work that hopefully we get into today. But other than that, there's just, I feel like there's so much to talk about in terms of this business journey, because I didn't just wake up one day like, and today it'll be student loans. There was something that brought me to that process, obviously. And it keeps me compelled to stay in the trenches of student loan debt because I have become super successful outside of my first business. But I stay in the trenches with it because there's just so much more work to do. So hopefully we get into that today.
Yes, that was an amazing intro about yourself and just how we connected, and just knowing that it's people that care. And that's why, even though you were like super laser focused on how to build and scale your podcast to reach the masses times 10, I said, I know that her heart is in what she do. I know that she has a unique story. I know, like, who would think to, to only focus on student loan debt? Like you said, that's a burden. Not only a burden on you, Sonia, and your amazing team that's in the background helping people become more, aware to it, but it's a burden on Americans. It's a burden on them financially, emotionally, and mentally to even think like, how can I get to the next level? If I'm trying to buy a home and I have 6 figures, or close to 6 figures in student loan debt, my DTI is going to be high. So how can we get this relief? So thank you for being you. Thank you for walking in purpose, and just thank you for being a voice in such a strenuous and yet important industry, right? So we're going to get into it. Let's hear your story and just who you are at the core. Before we even begin, for those who are looking for a sisterhood, looking for a community to just heal and know that they don't have to fight battles in silence alone, please follow us on Facebook, Claiming My Abundance. All you have to do, it's a free group, ladies. If you are just in that space, don't do it alone. And I had to even encourage myself. We know it's a song out there that says, encourage yourself. I had to encourage myself to start telling my story and not be so ashamed of it, because
Mhm.
that pain that we're dealing with, that trauma that we're dealing with, that's really our superpower. So, ladies,
Mhm.
don't do it alone this year. I encourage you. Don't be this overly independent woman. Get in community. Get in community.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Sonia, I know you're big on community. You created a community. How did this all come about? Like, how did it even just start to say, I need to go on this healing journey, or I need to deal with the core of who I am so
Mhm.
I can impact people? So, what did your healing journey look like?
Well, the business got started, or the community, the tribe. Girl, I was broke. Okay. I was broke,
Mm,
and I was really like just upset with myself as it came to money. I felt like I understood that I didn't know about money, and I don't like knowing that I don't know something. So I put myself through a financial literacy program. And in
wow.
that program, I found myself being the expert to talk about student loan debt, because that is my professional background. So before the student loan doctor, I was wrapping up my dissertation on how student loan debt affects African American women. And so I've always been very, wildly passionate about the topic, and more so to find a solution. And so when I'm in this class, I find myself, well, what you do is you just call your lender. You say, so I realized the information on figuring out student loan debt is not so common. So I was like, well, let me just, put it out there. And I started doing some content. This is like before content was really a thing. You gotta remember, I feel like I was like one of the first like pioneers of Instagram to really use it as business, right?
Yeah.
And then I started girl ordered me a white lab coat. I started doing speaking engagements in the city. I never knew how easy it was to order a lab coat until I ordered one. And I
Yeah.
really just embraced like the whole student loan doctor concept. I gotta find some old pictures of it. So the thing is, I was just so like wildly excited about the whole thing, because it was new. I felt like you could see people like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm gonna be really transparent and say nothing that I teach, even to this day, is not already posted on studentloans.gov. Everything's there. People don't like to read, and people don't like to interpret information that stresses them out. So I have a platform in which, in a brand, I'm going to present to you what you need to know about your student loans, but I'm going
Yeah.
to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel stupid. I'm going to do it in a way in which you like to, join forces with the person next to you virtually and say, yeah, girl, we got this. So empowerment fused with knowledge, if that makes sense.
Mm, that's so
So,
good. That's
so long story short, it just came into be that I felt like I just started attracting other men and women like me, and then the community just started to grow to people that don't even have student loans. I mean, I think because we touch on other topics, and my favorite philosophy is that you do not have a student loan problem, you have an income problem. Because if we truly got to the end
mm,
of it, if I literally was to give you a new stream of income that was the same amount as your student loan payment, and we dedicated it to just this one thing, you would not talk to me about having a student loan problem. You would have
absolutely.
a solution. And so I think because I realized who I'm teaching, who I'm dealing with, who I'm working with, because I mean, I have a community that's anywhere from people making 40,000 to 400,000. It
Ooh,
doesn't matter what you're making; it depends on what you think about the problem and what you want to do about it.
mm,
So it's been a
good.
very interesting journey. I'm very proud of the work that my team and I do. I'm very proud of my community. I'm just alone in this season. Over $5 million is still loan that has been forgiven through PSLF. So yes, something to clap for, because when I tell you, every day we were teaching relentlessly 2 to 3 times a day, the same time. Imagine getting on Instagram Live and Zoom, repeating yourself like a TV show. That's what we were doing for about 6 months straight. And I'm very proud about that, because that's 5 million forgiven from our community report alone. It might be more. We don't know. We have such a big following, but just for what we have taken in. So I'm very, very proud of the work. It is important work, and it's not sexy. We just make it look sexy and fun,
You do. You do.
Um, but it is truly monotonous work. But if I was to get tired of it, I asked myself this a few years ago, because I was getting tired, to be really transparent.
Mm,
um I was like, well, who would pick up the baton? Like, who would be the me? And I'm not trying to be funny or boastful, but
that's
girl,
okay.
ain't nobody trying to come and then take my spot yet. They don't want this spot.
They
Girl, they
don't
gave
want
it back. I done seen people come here in the game for 1 month, and then they gave it back. They done switched over and started talking about business credit or something. So, like, nobody really wants to stay true to this, because this is a thing that don't change. It ain't never going nowhere. You gonna repeat yourself. You're gonna get new people every day that's starting from scratch.
That
Imagine having a community that just literally every day is filled with people that are just starting from scratch. That's how I talk to everyone every day, starting from scratch. And then we have people that still show up to all of our Zooms and they already got 200,000 forgiven, but they just here because they loyal. So
they
it's a really
loyal.
interesting dynamic. You got to see it. It's really cool. But
You know, they're loyal because they're connected with you and your team. They're connected
mhm,
with the brand. And like you say, that transparency whereby everything is on a student loan, did you say studentloan.gov
mhm,
website?
mhm, mhm,
I think when people see you, they see relatability, they see transparency, they see passion and
mhm,
consistency. Like this is the solution. Yet I think when people think about, and maybe this is just my opinion, when they think about the studentloan.gov, they may think like, oh, they're not going to give us all the gems. It's some
mhm,
hidden stuff. Whereby student loan
mhm,
doctor, she's giving it her all. She's giving it her heart, right?
mhm,
So now the fact that you dive in such a, again, impactful arena that nobody may ever dive in like you. I feel
mhm,
that way. I just feel like this is why the world need our superpower. This is why the world
mhm,
needs Sonya,
mhm,
because I haven't seen it.
mhm,
I haven't seen it. So you're impacting the masses. You're using your heart. You're making sure 5 million, you said, and counting, student
mhm,
loans have been relieved. What about you, right? Like when I
mhm,
say what about you, what is that healing? Because student loan debt for a lot of people is financial. They're breaking financial trauma. I don't think I hear a lot of people talking about financial trauma, and that's something I want
mhm,
to bring forth to this podcast as each episode go on. But the core of who you are and how you can continue to pour out into all these people.
mhm,
What does your healing journey look like when it comes to just
mhm.
you as a whole, as a CEO, as a leader?
Well, I think that every CEO, power player has to figure out how to stay mentally well. So I know that when my business took a financial transition for the better, 2018, 19,
Mhm.
stuff started changing. See, it was cute when I was doing like 5 to 10,000 a month. Right? That's pretty normal. Like that's, it's a well paid doctor, right? Like that's you're not nobody can really see 5 or 10. Car might stay the same, you might move a little bit, a little clothes, little pink. But then when my
Yes.
months started turning into 5 and 6 figure months, I'm like, we got new problems. Okay. So being someone that makes 6 figure months, I'm like, I got 6 figure month problems, meaning I got this thing, I just love Cardi B for that album she put out. She said, like feel like boulders on your shoulders to make sure everybody great. Like,
Yeah.
the first person in my family makes 6 figures. Well, first
Mm,
person in my family makes 6 figures in a month. Like that's real.
that's
So before we can even deal with what's going on with the business child, there was a whole lot of me I had to get together offline where my no is going to be my no. My giving is going to look like this. My boundary is going to be this. I will not date this type of person. No, my friends can't do this. No, I can't be seen at this bar no more. Like there was a lot of me that I had to get together because I still like a little fun ratchet night. But now if I'm moving around literally as a millionaire, and so I don't have a million in assets yet, but I have made millions, right? So I know that you
good.
perceive me however you perceive me, and especially when I was living in Philadelphia, girl, I had to move because now I'm moving around with a 45 in my Louis bag because I'm not feeling safe anymore because of perception of through social media. So
Right.
now I had to go through that journey. I'm like, girl, you got to move. You want to keep making this type of money? Take your behind where you perceive is safe. So I moved to Florida, where driving my Lamborghini is like driving a Honda. You know what I mean? So there was things that I had to have a conversation with myself about, have a conversation with my therapist about, have a conversation with my immediate family and friends about, because there was a lot of change and the change was going to happen. I going to be a part of it or not? And then if I didn't want to change, am I going to be okay? See, the thing is, once you experience some type of success and you've been exposed to it, you don't go back. I ain't going back. Okay, let me say something right now.
Right.
To make 10,000 a month, I don't know who that's gonna feed. Then my bills is 25. So like the thing and the reality is, I couldn't even if I wanted to afford to go backwards. And if I wanted to, there's people that's dependent on me, right?
Right.
There's payroll. I don't have children. I got staff with children. So there was
Mm,
conversations that I had to have to myself, like down to discipline, making sure I'm getting up, going to sleep, making sure I'm looking at now and every area of my life. What am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I, because everything I do at this season of my business stage, it's on my shoulder.
Yep.
Now, successfully, I totally, when I totally feel this, I said this to you before we started
Mm.
recording.
Yes, ma'am.
It's cute to be a CEO, but that ain't the goal. The goal is to be an
Ooh,
owner.
a
I am looking for a
It's
CEO.
levels. It is
Yes, and I
levels.
want to be able to sustain a position in which I have a CEO. I want to pay my CEO, upwards mid six figures, excuse me, because at that point I'm super high into my 7 figure journey, right? So
Absolutely.
there are things that I pray for to come along so I can take some of this off of my shoulders. But right now, it's a lot of me still in the business,
Mm.
team leads and managers and all, because it's still a new concept and a vision. There's no blueprint for the business model that I have. I can look at some of the greats that have done something similar, but they don't run it like I run it,
Damn
right?
right.
And they're not impacting like we're impacting. Like it is direct impact when I get a DM, an email, somebody run up to me in the mall and bust out crying, girl, because of you, 200,000, and they literally start twirling around. I didn't know what to do. Like there's no blueprint for that,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah.
So with all that being said, for me, it is very important that I stay in the best optimum mental health. It's non-negotiable. I'm at the place where if you make me feel a little weird, one, we're gonna have a conversation if I love you, and then the next is you're out. We don't even have space in this season to be moving around with people that's moving weird. You
That's
can't
right.
do that to me because if you throw me off, everything that relies on me gets thrown off.
The whole legacy.
The whole thing.
The
And
whole
women in business need to understand this. Who you lay with, who you call your
Woo.
friend, who you give access to. I intentionally live on do not disturb. And the only people that gets through my little work feature is the immediate team because I know that's pressing in these hours. You can't get through to me just because I love this feature because I have to stay focused. What if you try to slide in my phone with some foolery? This ain't the day for
That's
foolery. I
true.
gotta hit today
Energy.
$10,000 goal. Like
Yeah.
I ain't got time for foolery. I don't want to hear about what Ray Ray did. I don't want to hear about like I can't because that's going to keep me off of the goal. And when you start getting serious about your time and your energy, you start to see that results in new dollars. And again, we're in the season where I have to hit this goal because this goal predicates this and this predicates that. So what I'm saying to you is I had to learn this a long time ago. And I think one of the greatest things that was a good reset for me in the pandemic when we had to be still and we had to be with ourselves. I had to rediscover how much I liked myself. I took myself on walks,
Mm.
little dates, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm only child, so it wasn't that hard for me, child. I loved it. And I had to
You was
listen,
used to it.
and I just buckled down. I got some money, child, and I had to create that structure. I had to start learning how to do some yoga. I mean, I was so regimented in the pandemic because I knew my mental health is fragile. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was really
Woo.
worried about every second of the world with COVID and somebody coughed and you know what I'm saying? Like I could be in a headspace. I could be in a room rocking somewhere. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
got time for that. So what we're gonna do is in this pandemic is we're gonna find thyself and get some money. We're gonna read these books.
Mm.
We're gonna do this yoga. We're gonna take these vitamins. We're gonna take this 6 mile walk.
Yep.
And there was just things that I had to do. Now post pandemic, interestingly enough, I was like, girl, you gotta go back to some of them principles. Act like you still in your own pandemic because you were super successful with that. You had the opportunity to cut things and people off. So go back into that headspace. So I think it's a great question. I think not enough women in business are really in tune to what affects their energy and
Absolutely.
what keeps them on track or gets them off track. Because if you knew better, you would make hard decisions to do better. And if you're okay with not doing better, be real with yourself and say, I'm okay at just making 12,000 a month and don't feel bad about it.
That's
But
right.
I'm not okay with that number.
Woo.
So
I hear that.
we don't have the same conversations sometimes with different people because
Yeah.
your okay is not my okay. I know what it's like to
Yeah.
consistently hit 6 figures. So I'm okay with that. But
I'm
I
okay
know
with
what
that.
that requires. So,
Yeah.
so it's just different levels to it.
And it's always gonna be levels as you grow, like climb the ladder, and like you say, when you're into your higher 7 figures, that conversation gonna be different. Then that level of discipline gonna be different. Then the your crowd, your circle. They say audit your circle. That's even gonna be different, right? So I love how you are unapologetically saying these are my non-negotiables. This is the type of discipline Sonia needs to have because my legacy is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are listening and you are like, Wow. Well, I've been thinking about stop talking to him. I've been thinking about waking up at 5, 5 a.m., 5:30, and going to the gym. If you know
Mhm,
that, if you feel a shift because where you are financially, your credits, like how you look, whatever the case may be, you always have the power every day to switch that identity.
mhm,
If your spirit is telling you like, okay, I want to make 10K a month. I want to hit six figures like she is saying, and I'm glad that she's sharing that where you went, where you came from, and where you are. I'm glad that you're sharing those figures because it's somebody out there looking to get this to that level, but they're stuck, they're stagnant. Well, how about, like she's saying, do an audit on your mental, do an audit
mhm,
on who you're laying down with, do it. And if you know right now, if you listening and you heard what she said, if you know right now that the friends, the men, the food, the social life is keeping you broke, not just
mhm,
financially, but spiritually broke, mentally broke, it's time for a shift. It's time for a shift. So I want to ask you, for those that are, already in business, maybe 4 or 5 years. I know you said student loan doctor been around for
mhm,
7 years, and they're stuck at that 10K, right?
mhm,
They're stuck at that 12K a month, whether they are okay with it
mhm,
and whether they're not okay with it. And they're like, how do I get to the next level?
mhm,
What did that look like for you? Like when you first made, like you said, your 5 to 10K a month,
mhm,
and you like, this not okay. I'm glad that you know that wasn't okay because you had to do more, you had to plan more, you had to
mhm,
hire more. Because that's really the next step. Like delegate. Stop
mhm,
holding on to this my business, because you'll never really see what it feels like to
mhm.
be a business owner. Robert Kiyosaki broke it down in Cash Flow Quadrant. He talked about the levels of where you are and how you can go, that investor. So it sounds like to me, Sonia, you want to be an investor. Yo,
Yes,
you want to be a high multiple seven earner investor, okay,
yes.
where you can put your feet up and the business is running itself. But for those who hit that space of 5 to 10K a month, but they want to go
Mhm.
higher, what what could you tell them? Like what was that like for you, and what would you advise them on?
So you just need to solve a bigger problem. So the more money you make correlates to the problem you solve. And the
Mm,
thing is, you have to stop being weird and stop trying to solve these problems by yourself. So I couldn't make the money I made until I duplicated me. And so you got to get yourself into a duplicatable business. So basically, what I'm saying is if I'm so great, right, and I'm only capped at 10,000, let
yeah,
me train and hire some more people that can be great to do what I do. And I
right.
think the challenge is, particularly women, Black women, we say to ourselves like, "Oh, no one can do it like I can do it." Well, then that's weird. You just gonna make your 10 and be quiet. It's really difficult unless you're doing like passive investments and you get a little lucky. You might get to 20, 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But then you're gonna be stretched thin, and now you're tired, now you're sick, now you're not feeling fulfilled. So the money don't even make sense at that point.
it
So
don't make
you
sense.
got to think ahead in your business now. Take some time out to say, how do I duplicate me? And
Yeah,
so from the very beginning, when I built this business out, I always made it to where it could be duplicatable. My job now in this business is to what I call go get the leads, go get the bacon. And I bring the bacon home and then I divide it amongst the team through our systems, right? So I don't talk to clients anymore unless I want to. I don't
right,
have to talk to people.
right,
I actually prefer not to really get in the trenches and talk to people because there's little nuances that I don't have the patience for, right? But
right.
then I found people that duplicatable like me that actually do have a super love for the people. I have a super love for the problem, but people wear me thin
That's
at this point. So you got to
good.
know the difference. You love the problem with the people. Yeah, I like people, but I don't love people. Like you got to love people to be on the phone
Gotta
with
love
them
people.
and talk about what they had for dinner and how's John. I don't care about that. I care about the problem. So I hire people that care about the people. And that sounds really
It
bad
makes,
out loud.
I'm
It
sorry,
does.
I have to say it. It makes 1,000 cents because you have to be, like you said earlier, you have to be honest with what you don't want to do when you're climbing the ladder.
Hmm.
Unfortunately and fortunately, that is a like that's a small problem now.
Hmm.
You climb it because you see the bigger picture and you know the bigger problem. So you over here trying to put plays together that's strategic and that's going to bring longevity, whereby talking to people is just not what you do. You started there, right? You started
Yeah.
there. So I love that. I mean, a lot of people will probably be afraid to say, I don't love to hear someone's story that much. I just love to see the success story. That's the story I want to hear. So I'm over here doing something else. I love it. When did you discover um whether it was in your personal life, business life, as you climbed the ladder, seeing how the money was coming in, when did you discover that on a personal level you had to heal?
I would say once I realized in 2019 that a lot of my trauma was keeping me back from going to the next level.
Mhm.
I didn't really trust people. I was making some bad choices with men. Nothing horrible to write a book about, but I just knew that a lot of the men that I was dating was looking like the replacement I was trying to find in my father. And then when I realized I don't
Mm.
need to go find that replacement, um I should look for men like the father figures that I had, not the father that I do have. And that sounds really bad out loud. But once I realized that I was searching for that, and I was like, let me pick better men. This is getting weird. Because see, the men that I was dating were charismatic, they were fun, they were ladies men, and that's a distraction. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna need somebody that's about me in this season. I'm a woman with projects. I don't need money. I need time. I need tools. I need a yes attitude. I need excitement. I
yeah,
knew I wrote down what I needed and what I do need in this season. And that's the man I need to go give my attention to. You could be charismatic, you could be funny, you could be charming, but that
yeah,
ain't gonna get me nowhere. We're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna get irritated with you. So now me being irritated gonna have me in my feelings. And my feelings, there's no money.
there's
So
no.
I had to start saying
Ooh,
to myself, you could keep dating this type of person. That's what it really came down to for me.
yeah,
I started evaluating myself because I did a self-assess and I said, well, you're working on your health goals, check. You got your mental health goals going. You got your therapist, check. I'm like, but you ain't never really put no effort into your relationships with a man. So you
yeah.
got to work on that in this season. That's what my conversation was for 2019. So I decided to not date, text, be celibate. We're going on, I think it was like 6, 7 months at that point. And I mean, I couldn't even see nobody. I was just focusing on having these conversations with my therapist about what was happening and who I was attracting. And then I said to myself, well, I don't want to date in this season while I'm looking like this physically. I was going through an extreme weight loss journey. I'm back to my weight loss journey, but at that time it was really extreme because
Yeah.
my body was changing, my facial structure was changing. I didn't have hips, then I had hips, and then I got this new skin and this roll. It was just a lot going on, right? And I was like, I don't want to meet nobody in this body. Like
Yeah.
I because this ain't who I'm about to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay 10,000, cut this little roll off right here as I was doing my walks in my bicycle. Every time on my bike, the fat is hitting my thighs. It's too much.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just being honest. You know, it's an
Right.
uncomfortable conversations.
Let's
So
be honest. That's right.
I had to go get that cut off because I want to pull my pants up and I wanted to lay flat in the front.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, and then I realized once I lost weight and then my body started shaping and my butt started doing small, I said, I don't like that butt. You know what I'm saying? I said, so I'm put a little butt back there. And I know that sounds funny, and I never looked at like, oh, I wanted to BBL. No, no, no. I want to, when I look at the mirror, I got to be 1,000% confident. When I'm talking to thousands of people, when I'm having these conversations with you, I had to go get my teeth fixed. Okay, my teeth cost me
Mhm.
20,000. I'm used to do these podcast conversations, missing tooth right here, tooth here. Anybody went to everybody got that person they know with a missing side tooth. That was her. So let me go get that side tooth fixed because I can't be who I need to be if I'm not feeling good.
That's
So
it.
what do I gotta go do to feel good? Because when I feel good, I make money. I show up like the
Mhm.
authority I am. I'm not showing up as my authority if I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Forget what
That's
you
right.
seeing. It ain't about no man. I always got men. I got men when I was 100 pounds heavier. It ain't about no man. It's about what do I like. So
What do
when
I
I
like?
start getting real granular about me, everything started changing. The house I live in changed in. The cars I drive changed in. The trips I ain't staying if it ain't a 5 star. I ain't riding if it ain't first class. But see, I had to have become a first class person before
Ooh.
I could demand first class stuff. So
Yes.
again, unpopular conversations because in order to reach that type of success, and I got more success to reach. Let me be very clear. It's still
Absolutely.
unpopular conversations I'm having offline about myself and the people I trust because you cannot become the great or be a great if you're not willing to do what the great do.
That's
You
right.
got to talk to people and you got to learn your stuff is not all that together.
Ooh, you better
So
speak.
when you start having, and I hope this conversation really frees somebody because here's what's going to happen. You should be listening to this. And when you get off a podcast like this, you should pull over, go to a little Starbucks. Don't go home where there's chatter. Start thinking about what do I need to improve about myself. Write
Mm,
it out. Don't put it in your notebook on your phone. Go get a notebook. Go
write
write
it
it out.
Make it
This your book. Anybody got to see this? Go buy one with a lock if you serious about somebody not seeing.
plain.
Write it out. And then you need to say to yourself, what do I need to improve? The things that I don't like. I didn't like my teeth. Let me go fix that. What's
Yeah,
the number? Everything got a number on it. I
everything got
didn't
a
like that
number.
roll. So how much that roll costs to get off? I don't like being a size so and so. So what I got to do to get to be a
That's
size
right.
so and so? Well, that costs too, because now I got to eat the right food. I got to buy the protein shakes. See, nobody wants to talk about all that. I don't like that when I show up. I don't have a nice jewelry. So what is the jewelry cost that you desire, right?
Ooh,
When I
it's
shake your hand with this $15,000 Rolex, we're gonna have a new conversation. This
yeah,
ain't the same. So I know that I'm wearing and I'm moving and I'm doing these things intentionally because I'm a power player. When I bought the Lamborghini, I didn't rent it. I bought the Lamborghini. Let me say
brought it
that
out.
again. I
Yes,
knew that when I pulled up, well, as a little black girl in a brand new Lamborghini, we're gonna have a different conversation.
that's
Matter of
right.
fact, we ain't gonna have no conversation about certain things. And I'm gonna move like that. Case in point, the other day I pulled up to a valet and you could tell this guy just didn't know if it was rented or not, because that's how they do out here in Miami. I said, I
Absolutely.
need to park right here in the front. He said, all the parking is full. I said, no, it's not. I'm in a Lamborghini. And that's how you got to talk to these people. And he said, well,
Unfortunately.
he said, what you mean? You could just park in the garage. I said, people that park Lamborghinis in the garage, their Lamborghinis is rented. This ain't renting, it's mine. And it sits in the front. I said, which one, $100? You
Right.
want $200, but it's gonna go right here in the front.
That's right.
He said, please hold on for a second. And he moved the damn cone. Yeah, because now I gotta talk to you because you need to know that this is my car. I didn't rent this. I didn't pay $1,000 a day for this car. This is mine. So we're gonna treat it like it's mine, and you're
Right.
gonna look at it like it's mine. See, that's why I'm saying you got to become the person you need to become so everybody can't play with you.
Ooh,
And when people learn these
ooh,
concepts, you become a bigger beast in
a
business.
bigger
You ain't
beat.
gonna call me with no foolery. I don't
Yes.
even foolery to me, it make me itch. Like what
Right.
you talking about?
You get under
That's
my
how
skin.
you gotta live. So if it's anything around you, any person around you, anything that's not making you feel like the beast you are, they got to go. It
Yeah.
got to go. The habit got to go. I don't care
Mm,
if it's your mama, put her on pause. She got to go.
gotta
Come
go for
back when
it.
you're a little stronger. So that's what it takes to be successful. These are unpopular conversations because nobody wants to do the work.
It's work that needs to be done but cannot be skipped. My
Right.
thing is looking on social media and looking at, oh, this person popping out of this or this person look like this. There is a backstory. There is some
Mm-hmm.
things that they had to go through, cry at night, look in the mirror and say, like you're saying, I don't like this about my body. I don't like this
Mm-hmm.
about my teeth. So I love, because I feel like you speaking to me now, and I know you're speaking to anybody who listens to this. Go write it down and stop having all these dreams in your mind, and
Mm-hmm.
the success that you want. It's in your mind. That's the battlefield that we deal with every day. And honestly and truthfully, Sonia, every day we deal with some type of trauma. So if you can
Mm-hmm.
get to a point whereby you looking at, okay, how do I make 50K a month? How do I make 6 figures a month? If that's the goal, you got to think about how you think. You got to fight the battles in your mind to become that person. Because it's really in
Mm-hmm.
the mind. You could have sat there and did sabotaging, or got, did a pity trip about your body, about your teeth. You could have did that, but you
Being
said,
weird.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Put a figure to it. What's the figure? How much it costs for my teeth? And I think being able to look at that, right, again, for those who listening, do that. If you know you want whatever type of house, whatever type of car, whatever that looks like. See what it was for me in my hometown. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I've been in Atlanta, Georgia almost 2 years now. All I could see was luxury living. I wasn't introduced
Yep.
to that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, I didn't grow up with that. Nobody had a business, but in my head, I told myself, I want to be around what success looked like for me at the level that I'm on, or at that next level, because the level that I was on, I didn't like it. I wasn't pleased with it. I didn't know what 10K, 20K, 30K, I didn't know what that looked like a month. Now I've reached a certain amount. I'm trying to go to the next level. What do you need to do, DeAndrea? So ask yourself this, ladies who's listening to this. What do you need to do? And be okay with that. Be okay
Mm-hmm.
with that identity switch. Be okay with that work that you got to do. A lot of people, I think they get afraid of, being okay with where they are. Like they get afraid of telling somebody, you said something. You said you got to have those uncomfortable conversations. And then when you have those uncomfortable conversations, it puts you in your place, and it lets you know, like, where I am is not where I want to be. Like, but some
Mm-hmm.
people are embarrassed to talk about where they are. So Sonia, like, people need to not be embarrassed, right? They need to start telling, like, so what is it that do they need to start doing? Just like sharing their dreams, or like not even their dreams. You have to be strategic with who you share certain things with,
Yeah.
like you said, who you trust. But if you're listening to this and you are ashamed, quote unquote, really it's your superpower. It's going to help somebody free themselves. But I get it. If you are ashamed of where you are right now, what can they do? Like, how can they just
In
start?
terms of getting help to go to the next level.
Yes,
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of times we got to stop relying on other people to help us. Let me
that's,
just say this.
that's right.
Yeah, see, that's cute and all, but when I started this business, I ain't call nobody for help. I'm gonna be honest.
There you
I
go.
paid for some new help. I got in a room where people would take me serious because I gave an exchange of money.
That's
That
it.
money said, "I'm sitting here because I'm serious. Stop trying to get everything for free. This is getting weird." And I think that when people say, "Can we just talk for a minute? You can just give me a little." No, 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 no. Now, if you're close to me, we do a little
Yeah.
conversation. I might invite you along to experience something, but I'm not about to. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not holding nobody's hand to success. That's weird. Because what's going to
Right.
happen when I have to leave you or go do my thing? So what I do is I give people opportunities. I allow people to serve. I pay people to serve. Right. For example, like one of the things that was important to me. One of my good friends is a chef. So I'm gonna put you in position to cook for me. Now you're gonna cook for me so well. It's other power and player rooms in this room that need to eat. So now they see how you serve and show up. Now they can hire you. So I'm gonna put
Absolutely.
you in position, but I can't make you show up on time. I can't make your food be good. I can't make your presentation be good. I can't make you have a pleasant and
Mm,
professional disposition. I can position you. So I
yeah.
think it's important for people like us to position other people, but
Yes.
I cannot hold your hand through the every step. Then the other thing is you got to make a decision about how much success you want to be. Because
Mm,
again, if I'm talking to a $10,000 a month earner versus a six-figure a month earner versus $1 million a month earner, there are three different things we're doing. Matter of fact, my friends that are, I tell you right now, I'm gonna just keep it a beat. My friends that earn millions in a month,
mm.
we don't do the same activities. I don't go to the same conferences at them. I'm not about to leave family and friends on a drop of a call. There's some things I just haven't gotten to yet or may not want to get to. And I had to say to
Absolutely.
myself, girl, that's okay. Because let me tell you something. A man's game and a woman's game is different in business. So I'm 35 years old. So I'm sacrificing
Wow.
really getting deep with somebody and having children and marriage to hit $1 million a month goal. I'm sacrificing that right now.
Wow.
But I said to myself, well, Sonia, six figures is enough. It could be enough. I live a great life. I travel when I want, I eat what I want. It's great. But I know, I just want to see what it do to do 1 million in a month.
It
So
feels like
if I'm truly putting that off, right, then I know that there's a reason for me to do that because I have a bigger goal.
yes, absolutely. So you said something. You said, you're sacrificing having that life with someone, that romantic life, becoming that wife that I know that you're going to be, and that amazing mother, building this legacy. You're preparing for all that. But and I didn't know you were 35. You look very much you're a wise woman, but you look very youthful. So when you serve, God will keep you looking good and producing fruit no matter how hard it looked. But you look really good. I thought she was like 28.
Oh my
28 with
God.
a big presence,
Yeah.
a big voice to serve the big crowds. Like literally, wow, 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 wow. So, like, what if you met somebody? Because you are in rooms with power players. You are in rooms with folks who's making multiple seven figures a month. So
Mhm.
what what if you connected with a guy, considering all your non-negotiables where you are? Obviously his is going to be different too, because he's playing in a different field.
Mhm.
So what if you meet somebody and they align with, one, the vision, two,
Mhm.
they can leverage that and help you get to that, because it's a partnership. Like,
Mhm.
things can
Yeah.
happen where
Girl, child, I'm gonna meet about 5 minutes a day. Matter of fact, when I go drive this Lamborghini later, I'm gonna be about 10 more.
oh, there
Mm-mm.
you go, there you go.
Remember, everything has a season.
Yes,
So if I know me and I know in this season, it's
this
gonna
one,
change.
that's right.
I'm not interested in what you presenting. Because I said I'm selfish about me in this season. Now, if you meant to be, I'll see you next season.
That's it.
But I don't never miss nothing that's for me.
Ooh,
Because I done came along with God about it being my season.
ooh.
And he affirmed it.
And
So
he
I
affirmed.
can't really miss nothing. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot. You know your value. You know your intrinsic value.
And
You
it's
know.
not that I'm high and mighty, like, oh, no, 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 no. I said I'm selfish about me in this season. So that good man is going to be my good friend. We can do a little lunch, a little travel, but I don't want to care about you. See, when I'm all in, I'm all in. I'm a cooker. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not no cleaner. I have a housekeeper, but I do cooks. Okay, and so I know that I care about your breakfast. I care about your lunch. I care about your dinner. I care about your snacks. That's my love language, right? And girl, in this season, I don't give a damn what they eat.
I
I
don't
don't want to
care.
know. I can't care about you what you eat. I need to go eat. Me and the dog. That's what I care about. Okay, because in this season I have an assignment. Now, when I hit my goal and I reach my assignment,
That's right.
I'll allow you to spin the block, not me. I don't spin no blocks. I'll
That's
let you know I'm available. And if you decide to spin the block, because I still have to be sought after, I'm a woman.
that's right.
You can spin the block. Now you done moved on. You done did so with your life. God be the glory.
That's
There's one coming down the street today. See, there ain't no shortage.
one bus, take another one.
That's another thing. You got to have an abundance mindset about everything in your life. Your money is abundant. Your men are abundant. Your clothes
Ooh,
are abundant. Your shoes are abundant. Your opportunities are abundant. So if I live a small life, a small mentality about what God was going to provide, I wouldn't be in this place. I'm not worried about no man that passed
right.
me by. Do you know 9 times out of 10 he gonna spin the block anyway? That's just how it's built.
He
So
gonna
I
spend
ain't worried. You just
it.
come on back, and if I'm available, you available. We see each other then. But that's what I'm saying. You got to be so sure about what God told you. And
Mm,
that's why you see when you start getting what you want versus what he want, that's when you start making the wrong decisions. What if I took that nice man up on his offer and started allowing him to court me, date me, and that wasn't what God said to do, but that's what I wanted to do.
that's
Well,
right.
then I'm not going to see God's promise fulfilled. Now, because I'm up here laid up, I don't go live at 9 p.m. and now I can't help you get your loans forgiven, or I can't help you birth your $1 million ego
Right.
because I'm laid up.
I'm laid. Ladies, listen. She's saying have that abundant mindset. That man gonna be there.
Yeah.
I love you. Oh, I'm so glad I was led to ask you that question because somebody needs to hear that, Sonia. Somebody is like, well, this man is good for me and he leverages me and he do this and do that. Sis, what about what you can do for you? What about what God has already given you? What about the impact that you have? Because
Yeah.
it's easy when you think you're in love, when you fall in love, it's easy to create an
But I'm not
identity.
trying to be in love right now. I was in love 2 years ago and it was great. I love love. That's nice. But I love to see what
Oh,
$1 million will look like. And I just want to show God I could do $1 million a month. I just want to show him some stuff.
ooh, do
You
it.
know what I'm saying? And then I'll go
Hallelujah.
meet the love of my life somewhere. The point I'm trying to make is I can't have that type of mindset in this season.
Amen.
Again, now we might talk again. We could do podcast number 2 a year from now, and I
Yes.
could be booed up, expected. I don't know. It's a different season, but did I hit my goals though? Because I'm gonna be happy with you, laid up, eating fruit, watching TV and cookies or whatever I want to do when I have hit my goal. I
Absolutely.
cannot, and then this is the other thing, as a woman, as a powerful woman, you got to know what your superpower is. My
Ooh,
superpower is
got it.
if you laid up next to me, you in my home, you traveling with me, you gonna get some money too. You gonna get inspired too. See, I ain't worried about what the next girl look like. I ain't nobody gonna beat this mental here. And if you ever do, I want to be her best friend. Shit, we ain't gotta compete. So, but I ain't nobody gonna go do what I do for
That's
you.
right.
So I don't compete. I told somebody that about last week.
Don't
I said,
compete.
you trying to put me in position to compete with somebody? I said, go on, baby. Just go on to that person. I
Yeah.
said, I don't compete.
Let me
I
help
am
you
the
out.
servant.
Let me
Yeah.
spare you and
Let
her
me send you
something.
back on over.
Yeah.
And we're happy. Simmer the hell down. We ain't doing that. No, 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 no. Because see, what happens is it's in a man's nature to make you compete. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it is.
Oh,
Just
bye.
talking. And then if you hear this is what's going on. It's going
Yeah.
down the podcast,
Yeah.
right? But I am not competing this season. I'm competing with self, never with another person.
Eating
So
with that's
so if you put me in that headspace to do that, if you're showing me someone else that you might think could do more, well, baby, you got to go over there.
right.
Because in this season, this is what it's going to be, and this is enough. If it's not, that's all right. We could
That's
be
right.
friends. You go there. But again, and also be very honest with people.
Hmm.
Tell them what season you're in. Tell them, this is my building season. This is my wealth season. This is my whatever season. This is my fitness season.
That's
And if they're not aligned with that season, they will opt out. And if they still not aligned and they ain't, you opt them out.
opt them out.
So you
Yes.
got to take
Good.
control about the stuff in your life. Does that make sense?
Ooh, girl.
So, girl, I don't be worried about no man. I know I ain't, and I got friends. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I ain't over here dating or nothing. You know, you gonna see some pictures in the Instagram. Yeah, it was a man there. He ain't on that page.
Oh, that's it.
He's
That's
not on that
it.
page.
You have to
We
sign
ain't,
for
we
that.
ain't engaged. We ain't married. That was my commitment to myself. I said, girl, stop posting these temporary people. Wait till you get into permanent situations. So it
And
so in the
stop doing temporary stuff because it's detrimental to your legacy. Stop doing. I mean, I'm talking
no, no,
about.
no, let me say this different. I want to say something. No, no, no. You could do temporary stuff with temporary people and live your best life, but stop doing permanent stuff with temporary
There
people.
you go. There
There we
you
go.
go. But
So
see,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I love how you just reversed that. But see, what I experienced, I was doing. You right, permanent
Mhm.
stuff. But see, those roadblocks, I was doing temporary stuff, right? And I knew that I didn't want it to be. I knew I wasn't gonna do nothing permanent, but I was doing temporary stuff just to put myself 10 steps back, right? So even like you said, know the season that you're in. The season that you're in is very much important. Stop trying to skip the season because you're looking on IG or you're looking on the outside and seeing what everybody else doing. This season that you're in right now, if you're listening to this, stay there. If it's a quiet season, if it's a dry, figure out why. Figure out what needs to happen because typically what happens when people are in dry seasons and they can't figure out like how vividly, plain as day, bluntly, listen, this is a wealth season.
Mhm.
Some people may be in quiet seasons right now and
Mhm.
they haven't sat down with themselves, Sonia. They haven't dig deeper to figure out like, okay, do I need to get up early and start writing down these affirmations? Do I need to stop going out on Saturday? It's quiet, let it be quiet. A lot of
Mhm.
people are used to chaos and they used to just getting to the money and they stuck there. If it's a quiet season, figure out what season you need to be in so you can get to that next level.
And
Sonia,
here's the thing.
you know the season that you're in right now.
Well, here's
So
the thing.
abundance will come.
Singleness is a gift. If somebody listens to
Singleness
this
is
single, they
beautiful.
should be grateful. If you're like, if I think I know who your audience is, if they single right now, start thinking God for singleness. The reason why I say that is
Please,
because
please.
you don't want to meet who it is you think you should be with right now, 9 times out of 10. Because you're not
That's
yet
so
who you
good.
are to become. And when you become who you're to become, you want to then meet that person that can handle that version of you,
That's
that
so
can grow
good.
that version of you. If I was to take somebody on in this season and I know that there's much more, oh my
Ooh,
God, you know how stupid that would be? Because I'm gonna have to get rid of him anyway. He gonna get his feelings hurt anyway. And this has happened to me in my life. God bless him. I hope he's doing all right with himself. You know, I know you looked at my page. But I
right.
had to say to him, I said, baby, you can't come on this next season because
Mm,
you're not trying to become who you need to become. Why I got to drag
mm.
you along like a ball and chain? And I ain't worried about what you got between your legs, sir. That's cute and all,
That's,
but that ain't gonna get me to
that's
where I'm gonna
everywhere.
go. That's actually a distraction if you want to keep it honest.
It
So
is.
I had to say to myself, this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna let you know I ain't unfair. This is where I'm going. Where are you going? Are you coming? What are you doing? If I'm up grinding at 9 a.m.,
Right.
yo should be grinding at 9 a.m.
Please. Matter
So
of
the
fact, 7 a.m. He should be up earlier than
matter of
you.
fact, wake me up.
There you go.
So the thing, that's why you got to know where you're at because then you don't allow and tolerate anything. You
Yeah,
don't want to be with the guy that's insistent upon being laid up and you got some goals to hit.
that's
He need
right.
to be working on his
He's
goals.
asking you, babe, how can you? Or did you reach this? Or how can you go to the next level? He's asking you. It's a different type of conversation. I love that. And somebody needs to hear this, right? Somebody needs to hear singleness is beautiful. A lot of women, I'm seeing this in the culture, husband this, babe this, boot up this. I want, and that's cool. And like you say, it's cool and it's cute. But you need to connect with your own soul. Your soulmate will come. Connect with your own soul and figure out who you are, so the abundance can come, right? So the right
Mhm.
people can come. Work on that. When you figure out who you are and you walk unapologetically in that, and you 10x, you get more tools to redefine everything that you discover about yourself. God will 10x that, right? And your whole world will change. But you need to figure out who you are so you won't lay up a line, get
Mhm.
Netflix and chill with the you right now, with the you right now, because the you right now, it's greater. It gets greater later. And this, I'm speaking to myself, DeAndre. It gets greater later. Whoever listening to this, please know that. And this is a battle that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Me, even in my single season, I sit quiet a lot because I like to manifest the things that God is telling me. I like to manifest that six figures. Sit
Mhm.
quiet, write it down, feel it, own it. When you laid up and boot up, you can't
Did you travel to that event that I met you at, or you live out in Georgia?
say it again.
You live in Georgia, or you traveled to get there?
I live in Georgia.
Okay, so let's just say there's more events like that. They're like, I want to use that as an example. Now I have a home in Georgia, so I need to check on the house anyway. But
Nice.
I traveled to get to that event. But imagine if I was tied down and I had to really, care about what was happening with somebody like in this season.
That's
And not
true.
that I don't care about people, that I date, but what I'm saying is if I see a flyer and it speaks to what I got going on, I pack a bag so fast. I tell my personal assistant, watch the dog. I got to fly out in 2 hours. That's the season I'm in because I got to get to the spot. And I
Yeah,
think the gift of, especially in entrepreneurship, the gift of singleness is you can move how you need to move. I
absolutely.
just sat down with one of my girlfriends. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. And she was just like, I don't understand why I'm not dating. She was like really down and out, right? I said, because God is about to rebirth you based off what she told me. I
Yeah,
said, why would he give you somebody? You'll never see it come to fruition what you need to see.
right.
You'll never. And she was like, no, you're right. I didn't think of it that way. I said, no, you up here sad and sulking. Get happy. You ain't got nobody tying you down. Get happy. You ain't got to cook no man dinner. Get tired. If this was an expert podcast, say some other stuff. Just get happy. You can
Just
do
get
you.
happy. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Go to sleep when you want to go to sleep. Put your beauty mask on. Put your hair tied up. We don't sleep the same. We sleep next to somebody, okay? So
yeah.
be about you. Work on your skin in this
About
season.
you.
Go to sleep with the ugly mask. I don't care. This is your season. And when you become who you're supposed to become, you will attract who you're supposed to
Yep,
attract. God don't make no mistakes about timing.
yep.
So you have to be grateful. So anybody that's single, you darling, you're birthing something new, you're on to something big. Why would he give you somebody right now?
Right.
You're not the wife that you need to become if you desire to be a wife.
That's so
This
good.
like right now, you might be a good girlfriend, but if you're like me, I aspire to be married. But I can't be nobody wife right now. I don't want to show you nothing wifely about me. I'm gonna hold all these qualities because this is not the season. 'Cause I know if I start cooking for you, I start taking your shoes off at the door, I rub your feet for you. Now, I know how to get in wife mode. Then you ain't going nowhere. Why would they leave this 4 bedroom, 3 bath house? Why
Yeah.
would they leave? Why would they leave this?
Why would
Who
they
would
go?
leave? So I can't even invite them in. This ain't the season for the no invitations. Because
Ladies,
I got work to do.
do.
That's how you gotta feel about yourself. I
Girl,
hope this is encouraging somebody. She might
it's
encourage you, me, you never know.
it's
I don't know.
encouraging. Every amazing guest, they speak to my soul in some way. You
Mhm,
dropping so much, not, and I know to the audience, but to me as well, because it's like, I'm gonna be honest. I was at a point, I love my singleness, love it. And there's moments where it was ups and downs, but I was
mhm,
doing, like you said, just doing permanent stuff. I was almost doing permanent stuff, Sonia, and I couldn't really, these men wasn't feeding into my dreams. To the point where I felt like I was losing my dreams, like
mhm,
losing the
mhm,
vision. And
mhm,
that's what will happen easily when the flesh is involved, right?
mhm,
When a love, when you want love and it's really not love, but you creating this ideology that this man love you,
mhm,
baby, love that vision. And as soon
mhm,
as I had to take a second back, and I said, God, heal me from this. That I did it. Everything I
mhm,
felt about myself it just got better. So, ladies, please tunnel vision yourself right now, and please understand how you need to heal yourself. I know you want to be a wife. I know it's hard. I know you see the booed up, the vacations, but please, please, please write these things down. Even write down the woman you want to become. I know you love you, and you should love who you are right now, but I get that healing needs to take place so you can really love and fall in love. But write down who you want to fall in love with.
mhm,
Who was that woman that you want to become? How much do you want to make every month? Like, fall in love with her. fall in love with that vision and every day work towards it. Sonia, this is, I mean, I know no one got offended because they need these hard conversations to become the woman that God created them to be. So my next question was going to be, how did healing help you thrive in your personal and business life? But I already hear it. Like I already see it. Like you know who you are and where you want to be and where you need to go. So
Mhm.
I would ask you this. At what point in your life did you start to claim your abundance? Like sometimes abundance may mean finances to people, but for other people, it's no, I had this awakening to
Mhm.
push me to the point where now I am making seven figures a month. So at what point in your life did you start to claim your abundance?
So I feel like the shift was 2016 when I started getting exposed to different entities. When I started getting
Mm,
exposed to those things, I said, okay, okay, this is possible. I see others that are doing it, and I believe that when you see people close to you being blessed and receiving new things, God is in the neighborhood. He's going to.
ooh,
And I don't get jealous or upset. I'm like,
speak
oh,
to
he's
me.
coming back. I believe that, he got a phone call. He just needs to, I don't know. Like, so I don't ever, get upset about those things, right? So for me, when I really saw it happening for others, I just put myself in position so that I could receive that same type of uh, um, wealth and
Yeah.
exposure. So 16 was the light bulb, right? And then 19 stuff started to really change. And that's when I had to audit relationships and people I was around. And then 2020, 21, just recently, I really pivoted and shifted because I knew I needed a new environment. See, I
Yeah.
couldn't become this version and who I'm still becoming in the old environment.
That's
Didn't
right.
feel safe
That's
there,
right.
didn't feel comfortable there. So there was just a lot of every season there's requires a new version of me.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I have to say, who am I about to become so I can hit the goals I need to hit? New monies requires new auditing. And I know I just told y'all very plainly what I'm on. So I'm auditing what's happening with me.
I love that. New seasons, new money require new auditing. So what does auditing look like though? If just what does that look like? You know what I mean? Like, even though a person will have to take their own inventory to say, this is what I need to take away, this is what I need to do. But what did that look like for you auditing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it goes back to writing the hard stuff down. You
There you
you
go.
literally should write everybody in your phone that you talk to consistently name on a paper. And where are they at with the alignment of your new goals? Do they come? Do they go?
That's
Right?
right.
Check or X. That's how I does it. Then I look at what fruit am I producing? What income streams do I have? These things make me happy. Are they difficult? Are they stale? What are my new ideas? What new ideas can birth new monies? What new skill set do I need to acquire? I'm not above no new skill set that's legal. So for example, I had to study life insurance so I can put my financial services division in place. I want to be able to offer 529 plans to my clients. Well, I got to go get the license. So I did. Now I got real estate that's coming up next. Why? Because I'm surrounded by people that want to become first time home buyers. So I'll
Yeah.
go get the license. See, every new
There
season
you go.
requires a new version of education and new exposure. Okay, I want to learn how to let me see. I want to really learn about wine pairing. So now I got to start going to some wine etiquette classes, right? It's just whatever it is that you need to become, you
Yeah.
identify it and you go do. That's it. You don't think too hard on it. I don't never think too
Quiet.
hard. I just don't. I
Quiet.
promise you, I
Just
don't think
do.
that hard. I just go
Whoever's
do it.
listening and you an overthinker, baby, just do all them amazing
Yeah.
ideas. Oh, you want to do this? Make it make sense. Make it make sense with who you are and what you know you're good at, and what you know that whatever you're already doing right now that you can 10x to add another stream of income. Obviously, you don't want to be doing nails and then baking cakes. If you do nails, then maybe you should. And if you're good, if you're creative and you do makeup, okay, add that on. Go take some makeup classes so you can become more diverse and you can get in different rooms and say, okay, well, I'm good at this, I'm an expert at this, etc., etc. I love that. Don't overthink it. Stop
Mm-hmm.
thinking
Mm-hmm.
that where you are is not good enough to just start that next thing or that new thing or take it to the next level. I wanted to hear, because auditing for everybody is going to be different depending on what lane they're in and what season that they're in. So that's why I asked, like, what does auditing look like, right? A lot of people are holding on to these friendships because it's comforting, right? A lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
holding on to the love because it's counterfeit right now. Audit your circle, audit how you think, audit what you eat, audit your whole wiring and your diet. Become that new person and unapologetically introduce yourself as such.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid. I was afraid to switch my identity because of how I thought people would look at me or how I thought they would feel about me. Baby, let them feel. Let them feel, because this is for you. I love that. I love that. Every time I ask this question, it's not really attached to a dollar, a figure, a matrix. It's not attached to that. It's attached to that next level you. Somebody needs to hear that. So we are coming up to the hour. We're actually there. Sonia, you gave so much to the people as usual. I'm not surprised. Even when I was going back and forth with your assistant, I'm like, I know she's going to just come up and show up as her and drop the gem. So for those who are listening, please take what she's saying. And this woman is literally walking in her abundance and doing everything she's saying she's doing. Okay. So what final gem you would give a woman that's on that healing journey and looking to, scale their business? What is that one gem that you would give a woman?
I would say,
Before.
to find a mentor in every
Mm,
area of the life that you desire. So there needs to be a mentor for relationships for you. There needs to be see, I don't want to, I don't want to mentor nobody with relationships. I'm trying to figure out my own stuff, okay?
that's right.
And
That's right.
my advice is a little unorthodox anyway. So you might want to be under me for tools to success with new monies. Like, there's different things that I might be a good mentor at. So I don't claim to be everybody's mentor for everything.
That's right.
Find a mentor for every area of the life that you desire. So find your mentor as it relates to, maybe lifestyle, your new mentor as it relates to spirituality and religion, your mentor as it relates to entrepreneurship, maybe just as a whole, if you're building out a business model, right? Your new mentor as it relates to health and fitness. Your mentor, you might have a good girlfriend that's so good with balance and mental wellness. Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Find that, and that's how you become super successful super quick, because you're intentional to get guidance from those people on
Mm,
that area. So that would be my best advice. And once I started employing that own advice to myself, I said,
absolutely.
okay, I know who to call. I know who to text. I'm not calling my accountant about health and wellness.
Right.
Calling about the monies.
Right.
Okay. So I know where I need to go at all times. The podcast, David Sheens is one of my good friends.
That's
David, I'm gonna pay you and I'm going to your podcast, your classes, because you're the authority. That's why I'm showing up here. So I didn't call Boo Boo, who just started the podcast last week. No, I want to call the authority.
the
So
authority. There you go.
that's why you gotta identify who that is for you, that works for you, and then get into that space.
I love that. Ladies, please plant seeds. I've been saying that. I tell people that all the time. And once I learned the power of planting seeds, aka investing in yourself, life looked different. My perspective on life was different. And with money, a lot of times we hold on to money because we have all these crazy or negative connotations about, oh, if I invest over here, what's not gonna happen. Listen, plant that seed for your next level. Stop thinking that if you're trying to go, like she said, into business, but you over here and you investing in somebody when it comes to real estate, but you want to take off in your nail business, or you want to take off and find that right person that zoomed in and been super successful on that one thing, and plant the seed, because you're either going to lead with two things: money or value. Money
Yep.
or value. And hopping in somebody's DM and saying, can we go to lunch? That's not, unfortunately, that strategy played out. You're gonna have to plant the seed. So if you are working a 9 to 5, yeah, and then we'll do. There you go. There you go.
I
And
was saying somebody did to get my attention. Everybody knows my favorite restaurant is Redstone.
okay, Redstone.
This guy said, I just want to talk to you for 15 minutes, but I know you're so busy. Da, da, da. And I said, well, and I don't know, it was just like too much. And I was not about to, because I knew really it wasn't 15 minutes. He really wanted more time.
Absolutely.
Wow. He said, what's your email? And so I gave him the business email. I didn't know what was about to happen next.
Yeah.
He sent me $150 to Redstone. This is so funny. Now, I was like, oh my God, I'm such a Redstone thought. I have time now. So I scheduled the time to talk to him while I had ate my Redstone lunch. Now he wasn't present. I don't want to eat with you. I want to go get my lunch and I want to eat my lunch.
Oh,
So
wow.
I called him. I said, I'm going to take lunch on this time at this day and I'm going to eat the Redstone so I can be in a great mood. And I enjoyed talking to him while I was eating my buffalo shrimp. See, that's good because now it's too much pressure if I got to sit with you for actual lunch. Just gonna send me a Redstone or Starbucks. I'm gonna make a little space for you, and it was generous. Redstone ain't cheap, so the 150 was the right number because my lunch with all the shenanigans I wanted had
Yeah.
came to about 80. So
That was genius. I've never heard. So he said, "Let me send you the money, and I don't have to be present. You enjoy this while we on this phone." Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
it was 30 minutes. I said I have a 30-minute lunch, which was true.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my Redstone while you talk. He mostly, it's so funny. What people do is they ask you for advice and then they talk to you. So he talked 20 minutes while I chewed anyway. I said, this is good.
This is
And
real
then I
good.
gave
Yeah.
my 10-minute input. He said, wow. He was like, that gift card was worth it. I'm like, yes, it was. All
Absolutely.
right. Well, I appreciate you so much. And that was it. That
And
was
keep it
it.
moving.
Yeah.
But you know what, Sonia? You got to know your value, though. You have to know what you bring to this world because otherwise, you getting it short end of the stick. You
Mhm.
accepting pennies because you don't know what you offer. You knew what you offer. You not like, no, we ain't just about. You're not just about to pick up the phone and call. No, it's levels to it. I love that, girl. You better help the people, and you better help me too.
This is
I'm
a great
receiving
conversation.
everything. Please, ladies, that's listening. Pick up and apply what's for you. Spit out the bombs, spit out the rest, and keep it moving. But she gave a lot. She gave her time. She gave her hard work. She gave her mind. And Sonia, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much because y'all just heard what she said. She 30 minutes. This was a whole hour. So please let the people know how they can follow you if they need help with student loan relief, student loan. They got a lot of debt out there and it's bothering them. Or do you have
Mhm.
a mentorship for people who
Mhm.
just need to build a business? Okay, let drop your handles, girl. How can they reach you?
So, couple of things. If you are interested in learning the digital space, like I teach a lot of brands how to create their $1 million ebook and course,
Hmm.
because that's how I made one of my millions with a digital product in the
Hmm.
pandemic.
Amazing.
So we're still making money with them, obviously. So we have a mentorship on that, and inside that mentorship, I do provide some fundamental classes about some of the stuff we talked about today: navigating through relationships, being prepared for the new wealth mindset. What does that look like? We get into some granular stuff. Like I tell my mentees they got to go buy new bras and drawers. Now I know that sounds radical, but how
I
you about
love
to make $1
it.
million and you got on old panties? I never seen that. Nobody wants to talk about that either. See, we gotta keep going. All right, so I do a lot
I
of
love
programming.
it.
So, the best way to reach out and follow and would be Instagram, the Student Loan Doctor. That's our hub of just kind of putting things out there first. From there, you can get on our text list, our email list, all that's in the link tree.
Awesome.
We have a new podcast coming out. It's called That's Weird. And so it's going to be a common sense podcast for women. Some of the things we talked about today, we're going to talk about. I do have an episode called New Bras and Draws. It's very important you listen to it, everyone, because
Yes.
again, I've never seen some money's made with a bra that had you looking like you had four breasts, old panties that ain't fit, your stomach ain't being pulled in tight. Now I know this is unpopular conversation, but you not feeling your best if you're not in the right size garments.
That's real.
What's going on underneath there? You know what I'm saying? But and then you got to buy Spanx, ladies. You feel better when you got some control on your body.
That's
Whenever
right.
I'm about to go make some monies, go speak. I'm in my very best Spanx. I'm in my best bra, my
Yeah.
best panties. I buy new panties. I buy Pops tags, a lot on panties. I know it's weird, but
No,
I new panties. I know I'm about to go kill it. So anyway, there's things that I have to share through this podcast. I think that are going to help people. And some things are just common sense that we're gonna get into that's not so common either way, you
Absolutely.
know. So yes, it's just so much to come. This is a very, like I said, a very important new season for me. And I know by this is my term for 2023. In 2023, if I'm more selfish about me, then I can be for we. That's my mantra. In
That's good.
2023, if I'm more selfish about me, then I can be for we.
Absolutely.
And I
I love
stand
it.
on that. So 2023, don't ask me for nothing right now. This ain't about you. It's about me.
Good.
And then maybe you can come check me out in 2024 because I would have become who I needed to become.
That's
So I
it.
could be a better servant. But sometimes you got to know when it's your season. It's about you. And so
About
that's
you.
what I said that this season is. I said 23 is about me. And that's what I'm standing on. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
I
Let's
love
share right now. It's going well.
it.
It's going great. So I'm very, very pleased and I'm proud of myself for making that declaration. Because I think a lot of times we try to go climb ladders of success, whatever that looks like in whatever area.
Yeah,
And you're not knowing that by trying to help others, by helping yourself, it
that's
takes you longer to get to your goals.
that's
You're
right.
more tired. And so this just ain't that season for that. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot more. It's
Well,
going to be
please, yes, please keep being amazing. I know you are. I love their spirit. I love what I felt from you just through everything you said.
hmm
Transparency is key. And this podcast that you're bringing out, like, it's about it might hurt some feelings, but in a good way. We need to hear what our I think I heard you say at the event what our grandmas didn't teach us.
hmm
If you are still wearing the same bra from let's say just a year ago and you haven't got size yet, sis, how are you loving on yourself? How
Your
are you
body
loving on
changed
yourself?
within that year. When it went in that dryer, it's not black, it's looking ash gray.
Yeah.
Your hooks is not hooking. You know the hooks that go like, they get a little crooked. Throw that away because now you walk down the street, you getting stabbed in your back from your hooks. Like,
From the hooks.
yeah, you can't be happy and positive. You got a little stab. Hook
That's
start hooking. I got to throw it out. I don't care. Your
okay.
wire ain't wiring. Your wiring came out. The wire broke. Like these are things that again nobody's going to talk to you about because they're unpopular conversations and people think it's common sense.
Yeah.
No, I could tell who you are and how you respect yourself by how you show up in the world. If you show up around me and you ain't got no watch on, you ain't got your Spanx on,
Right.
your hair not done, your teeth is not looking right, you're not a bad person.
You
But
just
that
don't
means
know.
you're not serious yet. You might not know.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying? And I
That's,
can always tell the difference between somebody that don't know and who's not serious. Because
mm,
I'm gonna give you a good example, and then we'll wrap this up. At
okay.
the podcast event, there was a young man who handed me his phone to give him my Instagram information. His phone wasn't a cover either. His phone was all cracked up, his screen. But before he handed me his phone, he presented himself to all of us in the room like a high value man. I'm like, no, this is somebody to stay connected with. And so when he handed me his phone, I handed it back. He was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Put your." I said, "I'm not cutting my finger," and I'd say it just like that. And he was like, "What you mean?" I said, "Don't ever hand nobody that phone again." I said, "Don't put no number in there. Don't put no IG." I said, "I don't even know if my IG should go on that phone." Now I was messing with. I did give him my IG name. I said, "You want me to cut my finger, risk my success? Get hepatitis because you didn't know how to replace your screen?"
Right, right, right. Or
So
you're
he
not.
looked at me. I'm gonna be honest, girl. He know if he's gonna cuss me out or keep listening. So I said, "Hear me out." I said, "When I met you just now, I perceived you as a high value man, and how you're handing me this phone tells me how you do everything."
That's right.
I said, "So if you paid to get in this room, the cost of this ticket is the cost to fix that phone screen.
That's right.
Go leave this room and go get your phone screen, and then you want to send me a message and tell me that you fixed it. He fixed that phone screen 2 days later and
Good.
sent me a message."
But I'm gonna say this. Good job for your presentation, sir. I'm just saying, like, whatever he presented, because
hmm
they teach, which I don't really subscribe to, fake it till you make it, right? Versus saying, let me figure this, let me be real while I'm in the trenches, but I'm building, let me be me so the right people can connect. But he whatever he did to present himself as high value, he did. I mean, for you to think that, but then it's like, oh, baby,
But remember, everybody can't keep up facades for too
that's
long.
what I'm
When
saying.
you date people, when you become friends with them, let them show you their representative. Stop being so head over heels with people. Right when you meet them, I don't
Ooh,
know you. I
yeah,
know you're a representative. Then you stick around for a while. I'm gonna find out who you are,
it's
and then
real.
I gotta decide: do you align with me? I really do got to wrap up. We got another meeting, but long story short, I met a girl. She came off like another boss, power player, and it was just something. I just could put my finger on it. It was just something like I wanted a new friend so bad. I'm telling you right now, because I don't meet a lot of women that can keep up with what I got going on. So I was
That's right.
excited.
That's
But
right.
on the third time we hung out, she did something that flagged a little hater flag. And so I said to myself, I said, oh, I don't know if I like that. So I watched her a little more, another little comment, little joke, right? I said, okay, dang, I'm going to have to cut her off. I said, because now she's showing up as who she is.
Absolutely.
My success makes her uncomfortable. She had a Porsche and I have a Lamborghini. Same family, my car costs more. She
Yeah.
made a joke like, well, we don't what she say? She was like, well, we all don't have Lamborghinis. But before she said that, I never saw her as someone that's not able to get a Lamborghini. You got finance
Ooh,
with Porsche. So you're able to get one, just go put a little
yeah.
more money down. So when she did that, she discredited herself to me.
Yeah.
You put me here. I didn't put me here. You put me here. So I
Okay.
was like, oh man, now we really not equals.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to let this one go because now that little hater spirit, that's the stuff in the flags that we ignore. Keep ignoring it. I'm going to pay for it. So
Ooh, that's good.
yeah,
That's
I
real.
learned that we can't stay friends, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Again, and they did I need to make a big announcement to her that no. I'm just magically busy on my purpose. But I know that ain't somebody that's to align with. And that's just how it is with a lot of people as you're finding yourself and you know yourself. A lot of people don't know themselves. I know myself. So I know I'm not good with them type of friends. I
That's
know
it.
I'm step out on you and I'm still from Philly and I don't care about nobody brand. And now see how this all go down the drain that quick? See?
That
So
quick.
now I don't even put
Quick, quick.
myself in them
Yeah.
situations.
Seriously. And that slight hater spirit would have definitely grown as you grow and
Mhm.
hit the figures or whatever it
I'm
is.
only going to get bigger. I'm only going to get better. I'm only
That's
going to have
it.
more influence.
That's
So
it.
if you can't handle
That's
it
it.
today, what you going to do in 3 months?
My thing is, sis, this is a privilege to be around me. So just look at what I'm doing. They say if you're gonna copy a cat, copy the right cat, right?
But
So
this, you have to remember, everybody don't self-assess. And girl, we really got to end because I'm
okay,
going to get trouble with me. But listen, this is what I say. Everybody can't self-assess because here's what happens when I get around women that are at a higher level and status with me. I
yeah,
shut up and I learn. I figure out what's success. What are you doing? What did you do? So the thing is, everybody has to have the ability to self-assess, and that's not common either. If I'm around another power player, I can hold my weight, but I ain't trying to compete with you. You
tell me
big
more.
bosses, go on. Now, girl, how you get to that? What you do? Like I need to learn. I'm not no hater. Because again, if God did it for you, He's in the same neighborhood. He's going to spin the block and come back for
That's
me.
what got it.
I don't get jealous. That would be so weird to get jealous. Don't get jealous. Go
So
learn.
good.
But if
So
you think
good.
you think you have nothing else to do, you have nothing else to grow, you're going to stay stuck and I'm going to have to leave you behind. And when you see me on TV and you don't have my number anymore, you're going to remember these moments because you had a chance to be a part of what success looked like. And again, who is the person? Well, I'm a person. I bring my people that I'm loyal to along with me. We all going to eat.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you show that you unloyal or you show that you got to go. There is no Judas. There's no room for Judas in this camp. And
right.
they say Jesus knew who Judas was, and he still loved and allowed it. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now. I done read the Bible, and I ain't got room for
I
Judas.
know that's
So
right.
that's we ain't got to do what the Lord done went through. He done went through it. He done been on the cross for us. I ain't got to go back for that. And that's what I'm saying. Why you got to keep these Judas around? You know who Judas in your life? That would be weird. See, that's why it's called the Last Word Podcast.
That's
Again, I'm
good.
you see how weird that is. You see
Say it
how
again.
weird I said, you see how weird that would be
Yeah,
if I was to keep
absolutely.
her around
Absolutely.
and knowing she's a Judas.
And she's a Judas, and you know it already. So, ladies, this is good. She has to. She said so much. She gotta go, but don't let her go too far. Don't get too far from her. Go follow her on IG, Student Loan Doctor. When I tell y'all, you're gonna be inspired. I know that you probably already know her, and probably was just so excited to hear what she had to say. And I was too. So thank you.
Darling.
Episode 8 on Claiming My Abundance was amazing. I mean, we're just gonna get bigger and bigger, and I foresee
Oh,
global
can I tell you
healing.
one last thing? Do
Yes.
you know that 8 is the number of my life? So when you said I knew it was gonna be good. Now, what's on my wrist? I have to show you this.
Ooh.
So you
Oh
see,
my
when you
God.
said it, I said this is gonna be good. See, nothing's by accident. 8 shows
That's
up in
it.
my life
And I
like
was just looking at you, because we all know you girls. I was just looking at you like, I really would love her story on because I know what you do and how you are impactful and how you what space you're walking in, with your authority. But I'm like, I want to hear a little bit more about her amazing story that I just don't know about, right? And
Mhm,
most of us are good nosy, so we can learn. Please, I
mhm.
hope y'all learning. I hope y'all writing some stuff down because I know everything you said, you blessed me with, girl. I'm about to go write my
Mhm.
notes. So thank you so much. Thank you for those. Please, again, go follow us on Apple, Spotify, Google, coming soon, Claiming My Abundance podcast. Every episode is going to bless you, change you, and I hope you just shed a tear over the makeup, whether you wear it or not, because I love putting my makeup on. I hope you shed a tear, right? So this was good. We will see you all on episode 9, and thank you,
Thank
Sonia.
you, darling.
I'm free.